The government's pledge of getting immigration below 100,000 by May 2015 lies in tatters this morning, as new figures show that net migration has risen to just under 300,000. That number for the year ending September 2014 is just nowhere near David Cameron's promise. It's well above, indeed, the level of net migration when David Cameron came to power in 2010. According to the Office for National Statistics, net migration, that's the difference between those coming into the country long-term and those leaving long-term, was 298,000 in the year to last September. That's an increase of 88,000 on the previous 12 months. And not only is David Cameron nowhere near his target, net migration is now actually 54,000 more than when he came to power in 2010. Now, this is not what the government promised. Here's the Prime Minister in 2011.
If we take the steps set out today, if we deal with all the different avenues of migration, legal and illegal, levels of immigration can return to where they were in the 1980s and 1990s, when immigration was not a front-rank political issue. And I believe that that will mean net migration to this country will be in the order of tens of thousands each year, not the hundreds of thousands every year that we've seen over the last decade. Yes, Britain will always be open to the best and the brightest from around the world and those fleeing persecution. But with us, our borders will be under control and immigration will be at levels our country can manage. No ifs, no buts. This is a promise we made to the British people, and it is a promise we are keeping.
Well, that was the Prime Minister 4 years ago. Now, naturally, we asked to speak to a Conservative minister this morning. None was available, certainly not made available to us. We then said, could we speak to any Conservative backbencher on this issue? No Conservative backbencher was available either. If we had a Conservative representative on, I would have asked the Conservative why. Not only had the target been missed, but why it had been missed by so much. It should have been under 100,000, according to the pledge. It's now close to 300,000, missed by 3 times. I would have asked why was it that the pledge had been made in the first place, because the government doesn't control the numbers coming in from the EU. And if the excuse was that they couldn't do that, but they controlled anybody coming in from outside of the EU, I would have asked why was it that even non-EU net migration was up by 49,000 to 292,000. Indeed, migration from outside the EU, I would have asked, is higher now than migration from those coming from inside the EU. Well, maybe at some stage in the weeks ahead, as the election campaign hots up, we'll get the chance to ask these questions, but we don't have the chance to do it this morning.